Quick one from Winston and Felix here for the end of the day. Couple of things to watch out for. Apple has to hold 124. If it doesn't, all hell breaks loose. Why? It's the last of the big tech stocks that hasn't really cataclysmically sort of collapsed. And it's therefore the last one to hold, and it'd be needed to hold. 124.60 I think is the support, so watch out for that. The fear index of Apple, yes, it has its own fear index, that's how big it is. It has its own VIX. Type Apple VIX into tradingview.com and you'll see it. It's just shot up massively today, so it's a little bit of a warning sign there. Where is Winston? Winston's back there. Secondly, global liquidity has tanked massively. MSCI global liquidity. And what does that mean? Well, it's a leading indicator, and it's generally not a particularly fantastic sign for 2023. And I don't mean to be doomy and gloomy here. I'm not. I just don't really have an agenda. So I sort of see it and read it how I see it. And of course, none of the above or below is financial advice. Winston told me all about as he's sniffing things. So those are two really big things to watch out for. SPX, still heading for the JP Morgan collar, I would say. So 3835 is still where I see it, although it's obviously down a little bit below that, but I wouldn't expect it to go that much lower unless we really see like a crash in Apple. A crash in Apple would have that impact. So what do we do then? Well, what about COVID? You bored of COVID? Winston's bored of COVID, and I think you're bored of COVID, but China is just properly reopened. People are going to travel. You've got travel restrictions in place from countries like Japan and India. Italy apparently reporting that 50% of all arrivals from China have COVID positive. Now, is that a big deal? I don't know. I don't know whether this COVID strain is a big deal or not. But it is potentially the end of the supply chain problems. It's potentially a reopening and massive demand, a commodity rally, all sorts of imports flowing into China. Think, coal, steel, all that kind of good stuff, oil and everything else. But on the flip side, of course, it's also potentially another COVID outbreak wherever people travel. And once they travel, you know what happens, right? Or potentially, we've all had it, and it's all fine. But that's obviously something to watch out for here in the next couple of weeks as Chinese New Year, traditionally the biggest travel season. We haven't really had one in China for the last 2 years, so that's something to think about, isn't it? Winston's Chinese, by the way. He was born in Hong Kong, little rescue hound from Hong Kong. Hey, I don't know why anybody wouldn't want you, Winston. Anyway, we're very lucky to find this chap. So what are we doing? I had some trading ideas. I thought maybe an condor around S&P 500 at 3835 could be a good idea, but I didn't do it because I think it's risky. I think there's very low liquidity and it could go either way. Same on Apple. You could think, well, we could do butterfly or something, lopsided one at that, but still very risky. So why risk it? I think just enjoy these days. Scoot into 2023. Hopefully volatility will pick up, liquidity will pick up, and we can have a brilliant, fantastic, juicy, delicious earnings season. If you want to know what I mean by that, it's for me, Christmas comes 4 times a year. If you want to learn how that works, check it out at felixfriends.org/call. Give us a ring. We'll talk you through just how we make the returns that we make. We're up about 140% or so this year, which is all Winston's doing, of course. So from this urban ghetto here that I'm sitting in, it isn't actually, it's just one of the most hideous places that we walk in for some reason, and it seems to be always where I make videos, but actually we've got this magnificent sea view behind us, which of course you can't make out because the camera doesn't pick it up, and there is even a moon above us. Can you make that out? Just about. They're up there, moon and stars and everything, and little Winston. So wishing you a beautiful day, and seriously, relax a bit from the trading desk, relax a bit from staring at charts. I don't think a great deal is going to happen here till the end of the year. So thanks very much for watching.